It's early morning, and the market did pull off last night. It came down. We had our stop originally set right at these peaks. It didn't miss it. Came down. I've squeezed it right into this zone, so we're about 5 pips away currently. But I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and drag that down into there, modify that order, pick it up, and the reason why is might as well grab those 5 pips. If it's going to rebound just a little bit, might as well grab our 5 pips along the way. So that balances our hedge. We now have a long position of 36.97 and a short position of 36.97. And we have about 8,800 units on the sidelines just chomping at the bit, saying, "Put me in the game, coach." So now we've got to look for an opportunity to either use those, or ideally, this would just shoot right up here about 40 pips and give us a trim to the long side. The market today kind of stings just a little bit. This thing's been going up, 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 and we got to pull back, end up picking up our long order, thinking it was bull flagging and would go on. I mean, that was an easy rationale. Seems how it had happened once, twice, 3 times. Why wouldn't it happen on the fourth? Well, that's freaking trading right there. That's why I'm a hedger. I'm a hedger because I suck at calling the market. So we went long, and then the market decides to pull off 45 pips so far since that position. What are we going to do? This one down here, out of the money, 270 pips. Man, we're doomed. Actually, we're not doomed. What we're going to do is wait for another opportunity, get this in the middle of this hedge, and now we get to start considering these 8,800 units on the sidelines. Now we're looking for an opportunity to put those bad boys to work. That's what we do. Now it's a patience game. I usually like to get this down a little farther in the middle, maybe 60 pips from one outside edge or the other, start working it from the inside. Right now, the idea is to just wait for the market to get in between the hedge and the units you put on the sidelines start to go to work with them. And then those start trimming the furthest outside opposite position. And it's just back to trimming, just back to work. I'd like to say there's something cool I can show you, something more, something earth shattering. Ultimately, all we can do now is wait. Wait for the market to give us something that's worthwhile, something compelling to get back in with our other units, something that might be a good trade. All right, it is that time though, the time where we hop in to the comment section. Let's see what we got cooking over here. This isn't really a question, but one person wrote, "I enjoy your videos." Thank you. "Listening to you talk about hedging is soothing. It's like the Bob Ross of hedging." That's awesome. Thank you for the comment. I mean, that was nice of you to say. This guy wrote right here, "Hey Chad, thanks for showing your account size on both sides. Can you also show your swap fees?" The swap fees are just baked in every night. So they're just part of the net number that you're able to see right on the video. So this net number right here and this net number right here already represent swap fees. If you want to see the exact swap fees, you could always pop over to Owanda's website and do the math direct. But those are kind of already baked in the cake. Already, net numbers. This is a good question. One person wrote, "Probably been asked before, but what is your monthly return like?" I average 3 to 5%, have for a long time. But February of this year was one of the first months in a long time that I returned less than 3%. The market just never moved. It got in a really ugly channel and sat around for most of the month of February. I think it was like a 1.5% return for February. So, you're gonna win some, gonna lose some when you're working on straight commission, if you will. There's no like guarantee. Like, I'm not punching a clock and someone's gonna pay me for the hours I'm putting in. It's very much straight commission. Eat what you kill kind of a deal. This is a pretty good comment. One person wrote, I cannot understand. Please explain in one video. I'm guessing he didn't have the time to write video out. I think I have a video on the channel that explains most of this in one video. Man, I'd say go watch that. M- Might not be as cool as, watching live trades, but there's a video that pretty well breaks this down. It's cool. Ooh, this is a good question right here. Is it possible and recommended to apply an inside trade, clean trade, so no hedge, to the outside hedge in order to trim it? Thanks in advance. Ooh, yes, it is totally possible, and often I would say recommended. Now, if you make a nice clean trade on the inside and your hedge is pretty low already, maybe you take that full commission and you just take mama to Applebee's for a date night. Or if you haven't had a chance to trim that down and it's a pretty big hedge still, absolutely. Trim that hedge. And you might trim a little off the long or a little off the bottom, or you might trim all the way off one side or the other and then balance the hedge inside. So let's look how that would look right here. So let's say I put in a short position right here and it went down and I picked up a completely clean trade. And because of that clean trade, I was able to trim, say, 200 units off of this long side. So it's down to 34.97. Well, this short position down here would be still at 36.97. So what you would do is you would put a long position up here at the money for, say, 200 units to balance that hedge. That's one way to do it. Or you could take equal units off of the long and short. Let's say you had profits to trim the long side 200 and the bottom side you couldn't trim a full 200 because it's further out of the money. Maybe what you do is you trim this 150 and this 150 and balance the hedge 50 units down, pocket the rest. Lots of ways to trim that hedge, especially when you're dealing with clean trades. It's 100% free money. You can apply it, trim it, pocket it. I mean, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I'm thinking Applebee's. I really am thinking Applebee's. All right, just to hit one last comment. This guy wrote, which we had read his comment in the previous video. I said kinda for sure because you can never be sure, but you could have an educated guess. I knew that was what he was meaning. I was probably just being a little bit playful, but one thing I do really think is you can't ever be sure in trading. I mean, look at today's trade, an example. It was very easy rationale when I pulled the trigger on that buy stop this morning that this was going to bull flag yet again. This bull flag went up, came down and retested this level. Perfect. That's nice. This one went straight up, came down. It did not retest this support level, which was previous resistance. Carried on its way, pulled back. This one also did not retest this support level. I kind of thought this was going to do the same thing and just carry on its way. It was a decent rationale. I'm sure I wasn't the only one looking at the chart that came up with that crazy idea, but there was enough people that said, no way, it's a bear day. And they just bared down and away it went. It did come down and retest this level. Now the question mark is it going up or is it going down? I don't know. All I know is I'm hedged up and I'm waiting for more action. Maybe I'll go to Applebee's.